very close to Mitrovic. The last ball from Leuven was really good, yet no one was there to impede Mitrovic off his line.
The fifth corner for St. Louis is floated in. Mitrovic. Oh, it's dropped! Is it in? It is now! It's Toyshart! Again, just miscommunication from the Galaxy in the back. Olaf Melberg and St. Louis City have their first goal of the season, and they lead on the road in LA.
Almost identical to yesterday in the Seattle LAFC game. They put players in front of Andrew Thomas of the Seattle, and all it does is cause chaos. There's nobody from St. Louis City near Yoshida and Mitrovic, and yet Mitrovic isn't clean, Yoshida's not clean, and then the ball pops out. And now you've got to have luck. And St. Louis City has been desperate for luck in 2025. They should have had a goal early on. Toyshart gets an easy finish and the first goal of his and St. Louis City.
Yoshida into Ramirez, gives it away, trying to leave it. And now there might be some room for St. Louis. Hartel to Toyshart. Garces defending back towards Hartel. Will he get there? He will. Before Yoshida. Hartel! Oh, what a goal from St. Louis! So quick on the counter, and St. Louis City have doubled their lead. It's 2-0 in LA.
This play starts. Lay it off. Back to goal. Keep it simple. Run off. And then Toyshart doing a real good job of recognizing the ball's got to be played at a pace that Yoshida can't come over and slide in, and yet Hartel then can have the composure. But great combination in midfield to now get into transition. They did it 3 or 4 times in the first half. There was no quality from St. Louis City. That is 100% quality from 3 of their best players. Klauss, Toyshart, Hartel, 2-0, St. Louis City. Defensive shape, the principles. And if you leave here with 3 games to start the season and 3 clean sheets, Betcher.
Simon Betcher, the cherry on top for St. Louis. What a night for the visitors.
For St. Louis City. From that look, it looks like it's still in. Great little touch and turn, simple but effective. And then get on your horse, Simon Betcher. You've done all the hard work at midfield. You get it wide. Does this ball go out? No, that ball's in. Play on, it's Simon Betcher. Run in transition. It has been that kind of day for St. Louis City. In transition. Goals galore, 3-0 as Mitrovic and LA Galaxy look to lose their...
Every Seattle player back behind the ball, and Stefan Fry making sure they've got their angles right defensively. Leuven making his 50th MLS start. And he scores on that 50th start. A sensational strike for the German, and St. Louis score their first home goal of 2025, and it's a beauty.
He's a set-piece specialist, and the star for St. Louis has needed to get going this season. And a mistake by Reagan puts him at such a dangerous position. 25 yards out, straight from goal. Has the choice of both corners. But he picks to the keeper's right. And he's got the dip, he's got the whip, he's got the power. And he's got his side. Their noses in front early on. It's exactly what his manager Melberg would have wanted.
Trying to get around Steven Moreira, reigning MLS Defender of the Year, keeping with Celiu Pompeu, but then gets around Moreira. Pompeu into the middle, Klauss! Oh, somehow doesn't go in, and then the follow is in! The drought's over! It's over for Klauss! It's over for St. Louis! The breakthrough they have so desired!
player on this roster that can beat you on the dribble, that can dissect a defense in one-on-one ability, it's Pompeu. Great chance here for Klauss in his first goal since May 11th of 2024. It's not a piano, it's not a city. This is what we saw in the second half against Columbus Crew. We saw it for about 20 minutes against Vancouver. So Olaf Melberg saying, you know what? We've got to be more dangerous.
Oh, Teuschert's in! Teuschert scores! It's given. It's unlikely as a goal could be. Nothing in the first half from St. Louis. But the formation tweak pays immediate dividends. St. Louis City lead on the road.
Great ball forward. But now you're throwing numbers forward. It's not just Klauss and Hopeful. You've now got other numbers going forward. I think that's as clean of a touch as you'll ever see. That's no touch from Klauss with his hand. And then the right arm of Teuschert is out of the way. Great first touch. Good finish. Completely against the run of play. It's 1-0. St. Louis City here in LA.
Looking for his second of 2025. The 29-year-old German steps up. Hartl, and he'll put it in to give St. Louis City a 1-0 lead.
To sweep out the legs of Teusschert, whether he went down light or not. Hartl steps up, delays that take, forcing Fry to have to make a decision.
As Devin pointed out, San Diego have had their difficulties defending set pieces this season, so here it comes. And it's a save by Dos Santos. Rebound shot off the post. Third bite at the cherry is in. It's Kyle Hebert giving the lifeline to St. Louis.
Had to be. Head up, stay positive, keep moving. That's the message right now after going down 2. The chink in the armor that has been for San Diego pokes itself through once again. What a follow-up there by Kyle Hebert. Plenty of players up high. The initial deflection, the post, and then the finish. One of the most consistent in a City uniform this season, the only player.
St. Louis City, 9 goals, all totaled in MLS play. 5 from set pieces, just 1 from the corner kick, but they do like it when the ball is stopped. Chance for Hartl to get it going. Looping ball off the back of the head of Tommy Pompeo! It was worth the wait! Celio Pompeo living off the end of a lightning bolt. St. Louis City have the lead.
At Energizer Park that has the ability to shape, opens up his hips and pick out that far post. Recycles the second ball, obviously knows exactly what he's trying to do the moment that he sets himself up. Time and time again on the training ground, pays dividends here at Energizer Park. Far post, side net, full stretch pulse camp. Nothing he can do about it. First goal of the season.
Valum, Klauss, that one off the face. Great ball. Doesn't bother Klauss. He is a warrior. Pompeu here in the 44th minute. Ostrak, a clip ball. If it's onside, it's 2-0. The flag is still down. Teuschert looks over to see, and the crowd confirms for a team that has been unlucky most of 2025. A ray of good fortune.
Manufacturing momentum. I'm not sure there's a better example for something like this. Ostrak picking up the ball in the midfield. Doesn't see the immediate pressure. Decides why not have a pop on goal. Ends up hitting the underside of the boots of Teuschert. Knew nothing about it. And somehow as Polskamp goes down to his right-hand side, anticipating the shot to come through, it skips harmlessly up and over.
Big chances in this game, been few and far between. 15-minute intermission could be coming at a good time as this is floated forward again. João Klauss. João Klauss will get there and he scores!
Exactly what St. Louis City was looking for. 1-0 before the break.
This is all about one player reacting first in João Klauss and another player being hesitant, and that's the goalkeeper, Earl Edwards. It's that slight pause of, do I go, do I stay? There has to be the conviction from the goalkeeper. João Klauss wins this. He's now reacting flat-footed, and he goes and gets there before Edwards does. It's inexcusable from the goalkeeper. It's ruthless from the center forward. And for this new look St. Louis City side, exactly what they needed in front of their home fans to get them livened up and believing again.
A chance to win it for St. Louis. Lubin scores! St. Louis leads!
What a moment for that man. What a moment for this club. Conceding a goal late on. Mentality drops. Hope looks like it's lost. And then Simon Betcher wins the penalty. And Edward Leuven, who's dealt with so much adversity, has the confidence and the quality to step up and deliver. It's a big, big goal. And maybe the future looks brighter and different under the new manager and the new regime. Back to the old DNA and back in front for St. Louis City.
Klauss finds Pompeu. Pompeu coming forward. Pompeu leaving it. Akil Watts again. Pantemis a save.
It's relentless from St. Louis, but they just cannot find the finish. Now Toland into the middle. It's Watts again! And finally it's in! The former Portland Timbers Academy player scores his first MLS goal in a city he used to live in. Akil Watts puts St. Louis.
Got to break down the dam to create your own luck, and Akil Watts has done that. Pantemis has stood on his head in the first half with two ridiculous saves, then this one right at him. But even Kamal Miller defending that one well, but Akil Watts expecting the ball to bounce, expecting the unexpected for the ball to pop out in the right spot at the right time. And the most unpredictable goal scorer you could have in this St. Louis City team, and yet not a single person will care.
Betcher forklifts. John Nelson, the early deflection. Second and third ball on the tap for St. Louis City. Hartel. Klauss! That's 2 goals in 3 games for João Klauss, and the big man converts. 1-0 St. Louis City.
But just pay attention to the care on it. There's a lot of care. Once it comes to Hartel here, look how slow he plays it. Just so it gets to Klauss in stride, he can now take a touch and then shoot on that left foot. There's the little ball. Great relationship between the attacking midfielder and his number 9. Klauss takes one touch, straight under the keeper into the back of the net. Knew it was going to be Hartel if a goal came. 1-0, great start.
Parente. It's important to keep in mind, too, a player like Gabriel Peck thrive off some confidence.
Oh, wow.
Long ball hit over for Klauss. Klauss is in! Oh. It's looking like Santa Claus in St. Louis. The gift of goals, they've been waiting for it, and a brace for João Klauss, 2-1.
Let's get him more chances. And it's Pompeu with a great first-time ball. Loose ball from Galaxy. And Mitrovic, I'm thinking he's coming. He doesn't come out. And Klauss absolutely punishes with that finish. Wow. The ball's still bouncing. He hits it really well through the laces. Right to the roof of that net. Coming out to the second half with a vengeance. João Klauss, 2 goals on the day. Brilliant stuff. counter-attacking football and a great finish. Oh, he enjoyed that.
Klauss.
Oh, chance.
Good spot here!
Oh!
Wow, from João Klauss! Hat-trick! 3-3, 95th minute!
Finishes, and this is from the top draw. It's flicked on, and he just really, oh my goodness, the technique. That's a laser across goal into that top corner. Watches it onto his foot. This is a new João Klauss in a new era. A hat-trick for João Klauss. Let me say that again. And oh, does it feel so good. Brilliant stuff from him today.
No CB call-ups for Orlando City.
Oh, good ball.
Betcher's in behind. Betcher! The Billiken brings one back for St. Louis City.
And it's a great ball from Totland, and Betcher, him in the end. He gets Totland around that halfway line, and look at the pass. Betcher, great first touch. A little bit of footwork, keep it alive, and a good finish into the near post. A little bit scrappy with the finish, but that doesn't matter. He's been due a goal. 8.
Totland carries along. Hartul in the middle. Totland. Skip through. Close! The Art City Assassin has another 3-2, 5-goal first half.
Stop scoring, and you might get a little bit of luck on the way. Just stick it in there, and it just lands in the lap of João Klauss here. Poor clearance, but he punishes that mistake right into the back of the net. It's a good finish on the bounce. Half volley. 6 goals for João Klauss.
Sure, at half-time there would have been a few choice words said to the players because it was just sloppy at the beginning and sloppy at the end.
Klauss the target!
Set pieces, set pieces, set pieces. He only needs half a chance.
He's pulled one back. He has been in the best form possibly in goal scoring since he's arrived at MLS. He has now got 6 in 6.
Because it's one off the training ground. Just watch the movement, the ball's being played in. No one on the far post. No one does that anymore. It used to be a vogue that people would be on the post. Who is picking him up? I mean, he's a danger from any situation, and no one's picking him up. I think Glad was the closest one to him, and Klauss only needs half a yard, and they're back in business.
And there's Shande Silva, who they picked up at the end of the primary transfer window for Jake Girdwood Reich. See where Silva plays. That's in.
Yeah. St. Louis back in business off the corner.
Another set piece. Didn't know a lot about it, Max. Just bounced off his thigh. It might, they'll have a look because it might have hit his hand actually when it went in. But again, that's a concern for RSL. As the ball's been played in, you can't really tell with all the bodies.
It's Yarrow.
Ball's played in, and it's just that little hand there, and I think it's come off his hand, got in there, but
Caliscan may have gone off his back. Oh, I don't know if they're going to take that away.
Yeah, they're going to have a look there, because if it is any hand contact from the attacker, they're going to make a sub anyway.
Ostrak, unrelenting, plays ahead, finds Hartel. Moreno racing back, but they get this to Pompeo. Celju Pompeo with St. Louis looking to equalize. Hartel with a shot, and he roofed it! Marcel Hartel, tie game at Energizer Park. And their 29-year-old designated player almost took the top of the net off. We are level.
You just see him in a second. He just drops that little bit deeper. just staying out of the way at the moment. He knows he wants to make that late run. Then he gets on the ball. He's got into the key areas now between the defence and the midfield. But he's not happy just to lay the ball up to Pompeo. He then demands it back. Him and Klauss nearly get in each other's way, but there's no denying the emphatic finish from Hartl. A little bit fortunate the way he bounces up off Sermon, perfectly for Hartl. But St. Louis and Hartl, they will not care one bit. They've started the second half. Excellent.
Leuven testing Crépeau right off the bat. The rebound is loose. Getting a foot to that is Betcher. They're better in every way with Leuven on the field. Set pieces, they're better exponentially. Not out of the woods here is Portland. This is headed across and in! Crépeau got a piece of it, that's all! Hartl's night. He's got two.
That Leuven on the pitch was going to be a difference maker for Hartl and free him up more. But this is all about Hartl. Yes, it takes a deflection on the way through from Kelsey, but it all comes from the Leuven free kick. And then Hartl gets himself in a great position. I think initially he's looking to try and head it back across goal. But what they say is you make your own luck sometimes, and it's exactly what Hartl does in this scenario. Crépeau stands no chance.
Edouard Leuven against St. Clair. Leuven hits for the opener for St. Louis City, rewarding the strong start. 1-0, 10 minutes till halftime.
Contact needed by Vauxhall. Nonetheless, Leuven steps up. Never in doubt, puts it into that corner. St. Louis City deserved this lead, though, from their play in this first 35 minutes. Got to be happy for that man, though.
Well, you just got the feeling that if he's going to come to Energizer Park, that there's going to be a dazzling performance on deck. As this is clipped towards the back stick, Padelford's the target. Falls kindly here for Orozco, couple of touches. Latches it across, and it's in for City! And it's Haciel Orozco from an impossible angle.
And as you see Padelford go up for the first ball on the back stick, he does well. He heads it backwards, right into the path of Orozco, who just drives this home. And watch Joe Willis's eyes right here. He's trying to track it, and it goes through so much traffic across the goal line. You can hear the net rattle on the field cams. The field mics, excuse me. What a finish, beating him near post on the inside.
Teal Bunbury, Jacob Schaffelberg, Alex Muil, as well as Sami Kassem have to imagine are going to play a part at some point in the proceedings as Leuven has Klauss to his right. Finding Klauss, going for goal and finding goal. It's 2-0 to City. Well, this is the St. Louis City that we remember from 2023.
With David Kirchley about that, kind of the sacrificial runs where you don't know if you're going to get the ball. Look at João Klauss with the sprint. He does end up with the ball on his foot, but he doesn't know if Edouard Leuven's going to take it himself or find Hartl on the back post. But the willingness to make the run, and Edouard Leuven driving forward with pace right at Jack Maher. You're asking him to make a decision as a defender. Then by the time he gets to Klauss, no chance, and another near post finish. Kisses off the post, beating Joe Willis. 2-0.
One I know we've talked before about how teams went in.
This falls for Leuven, touches it along, Betcher brings it down, saved by Willis, and the follow-up is put in! Song Bin with the final touch and his first goal in a City kit. Wow, 3-0 to the home side.
Coming in with a vengeance and a purpose. And you see Palacios there and Willis, everybody's just scrapping. Jack Maher trying to come over and help defensively, but they are completely disconnected defensively and staying with the play. Song Bin finds himself just on the wrong side of Meyer, who does not get anywhere near enough to Song Bin to put a body on him. Instead, he's defending the line and not the player.
Leuven weaving. Now Padelford, the cross, steered away. Ostrak in the middle. Ostrak gets the shot away and scores! The perfect start to the second half for St. Louis City. 1-1.
Correct, you gain some real estate, and now you have 4 real options in the attacking 18-yard box. Left side of your screen, Ostrak doing a good job at just staying with it. The composure to take that first touch across his body, but as it ricochets out, I just want you to notice how quickly he sets himself right here. Able to open up his hips, which opens that angle to simply pass it into that far post. Composed and clinical finish to draw this game 1-1.
After little to no attacking moment. Ostrak for Valum. Ostrak again, already a goal tonight, drives this across. Chance to shoot, it's 2-1!
Center of your screen, he's on the ball right now. Notice the composure to take this first touch and demand it back. And as this ball comes across, it's quality, it's class, and it's technical ability from Hartel. First touch out of his body, and notice how he keeps his shoulder square and just tattoos this thing into the roof. Close in proximity, so you just put it on target, you give yourself a chance, and more importantly, you give St. Louis City the lead.
Crowd. Now, a lot of St. Louis players were offside. They had to reset as well, but onto the ball nonetheless. Valum curls one towards Brace, and it's in! A fabulous header there by Leuven, who had joined the attack inside the area. And St. Louis strikes first. It's 1-0.
And it looked like the Whitecaps were away the other way after the corner kick was cleared. And wide open was Mueller, but Berkey did really well, as he often does. His manager calling him a complete goalkeeper with what he does out of his box. Able to play the ball forward, but what a pass this is from Valum as he whips it in first time into the perfect spot beyond the Whitecap defender Blackman. And coming on to head it home with power is Edward Leuven from his midfield position. It's a fantastic first goal for St. Louis City.
And now Kubas has got to hurry up. 2v1, but Ocampo coming back to help. Ocampo, only man there for Klauss. Klauss running into traffic, and he still makes it work. João Klauss. A spinning clinic of a goal. And St. Louis is on top. It's 2-1.
How quick was Song Bin down that right side to set this chance up? And almost out of nothing in the second half, where St. Louis has had so few looks on goal. They get the go-ahead goal here by Song Bin. Here's the chance for Vancouver. Initially, after the tug back, I feel like if the Whitecaps had scored here, it probably would have been called off for an obvious pullback and a foul. But Song Bin the other way gets around Andres Kubas with ease, and then João Klauss, who's in a good vein of form right now, 8 goals in 12 games, does so well to hold the ball up, turn inside the area, and then when he gets his chance here, he just slots it back the other way across Takaoka, who is leaning a bit to his right. It's a terrific goal scorer's finish, and St. Louis with the 1-goal lead.
Absolute stunner.
That turns into a cross and an own goal. Not good enough there. And then on the third one, it's an individual error that really, really hurt the team. The individual errors you can address because the player already knows.
Betcher trying to send that one in, deflected away. And the follow-up shot up into the corner from Edward Leuven. Is there life in St. Louis?
Much that's picture perfect for St. Louis City SC here tonight. But this volley is picture perfect. The ball falls to his feet, and look at the effortless nature, the technique of this. Simon Betcher just laying that down, and look at the pace come off the boot. Just phenomenal. Just makes it look so easy. And that's thousands and thousands of attempts throughout his lifetime.
Leuven, who had an absolute golazo a moment ago. exchange right there. Frees up Durkin all the way to the back post. Headed, and it's 3-2!
Joyner, quick combination play, and a phenomenal ball to the back post, and Joyner's just waiting for that one. Look at this ball from Durkin. It's well weighted. Joyner off of 2 feet, able to then get that snap header down to the back post. And another picture-perfect attack. We got ourselves a game here, Rogan.
Porter goes short. Pompeu! Wow! Picturesque from Seliu Pompeu. St. Louis the breakthrough.
Loitering with intent at the edge of the box. Takes one touch. And just puts a lot behind it and really good technique. Wow, that absolutely flies off of his foot. There's the strike. Does that take a deflection or does it just swerve? Maybe Lalas Abubakar and the little extension of his hair.
From the apple here for St. Louis. Volum again for Hartle. Hartle in front. Klauss can't get the shot away. Tucked in by Volum. Second phase attack for St. Louis pays dividends, and the road side is up a goal.
And they really had Montreal scrambling inside their own box. And Volum again integral. Gets the final touch with a calm finish into the corner. He sets it up originally with that nice little ball into the corner that Hartle centers. Great touch from Klauss there. And then the fortunate bounce from the deflection falls right onto Volum, who'd come in centrally from his right-sided position. And he gets to ahead of Alvarez. And Jonathan Sirois from close range can't stretch the hand out. There's no chance for him with a well-placed finish from Volum to make it 1-0.
We were praising his for Bolivia. Sung Bin. Looking for Klauss. Klauss in space, edge of the box. Sets up Hartle and it's in. Too easy for St. Louis.
João Klauss, class touch to set up Hartle, and both celebrating with each other. A goal created by the two of them to give St. Louis a 2-goal bulge. Montreal caught out again on that counter that St. Louis has been so clever with here tonight. And a tremendous finish too for Marcel Hartel. There is question marks perhaps on the goalkeeper going down and giving that up so early rather than holding the ground. But look at this touch from Klauss.
Goodness.
Superb. Sirois perhaps thinking that the near post is where Hartle will place his shot, but he goes back across where Sirois was standing.
Picked up on the far side by Pompeu, the Brazilian. Padelford on loan from Minnesota United. Slipped forward over towards the head of Klauss. Across goal it goes! Fabulous goal! Linesman had a look. It stands. St. Louis City lead. Brendan McSorley. First start. First goal for the St. Louis City player. The risk. McSorley took the risk, and boy did it pay off.
Yeah, we mentioned though that San Jose had been sitting in a lower block here, and it's the big diagonal switch across to the big number 9. Durkin just picks his head up, and it's a great header here, just right across in the perfect spot from João Klauss, and then McSorley in his first start, taking his opportunity, coming through MLS Next Pros, fought his way into the first team, pays it off with a goal.
Conrad Valem, cross goal it goes, scrambled away at the vital moment. Uni on hand for San Jose, the boy from St. Louis. Has more work to do, the effort towards goal is fabulous! My word, what a strike! Marcel Hartle with his third goal in 6 games in Major League Soccer, and it may just be his best of the campaign thus far.
Are shell-shocked right now, and it's just a hopeful ball, just putting it back in play, and McSorley's just able to keep it alive, and Hartle's facing the wrong way. no problems at all. The way he turns on this is just ridiculous technique with the left foot. Daniel just standing, can only look and watch as a spectator, but Sorley just fights to keep it alive, and you're thinking he's just gonna trap that, and does the exact opposite, just strikes through it, up and down, dipping action.
Varlan twisting and turning, and Varlan waving half a yard. Hartle's ball in! It's in! It's 3! McSorley again! St. Louis City sustained superiority amongst the sea of San Jose silence.
We spoke to David Critchley in the week and said McSorley is going to get the start and he deserves it based on the way he's played, and wanted to give himself a chance. And boy, the way he's repaid it in this first half, he just throws himself at this one, just getting on the back shoulder in behind there. Wilson just goes in for his second goal of the first half in his first start. What a story on how to take your opportunity. Go ahead and celebrate.
David Critchley talked a lot about the pressure that they want to put on this Austin side and try to set the tempo here at Q2 Stadium. One back in a good area, Marcel Hartl, he'll go for goal, what a goal! How about setting the tempo? Marcel Hartl, 1-0 in Austin.
Gets launched into the air, and it's a really just careless ball. Songbin does so well to bring this down and quickly get a secondary touch, but it's the way Hartl checks his shoulder and then receives it on a half turn. He feels the pressure from Sanchez, so that's why he cuts over to the right, and when there's no pressure from his center back, he opens his hips, and my goodness, that is a fantastic strike. Very few goalkeepers in the world are saving that. The shape, the precision, the placement, everything you could want, and a top drawer finish from Marcel Hartl.
Klauss racing forward, Pompeu right there with them, Pompeu right into the middle, Hartl's there, Hartl's a brace! Marcel Hartl all by himself, his 2 goals is St. Louis up.
When this ball gets squared from Pompeu, Hartl recognizes quickly that it's going to come back. He's got to get in front of the defender. So he takes this touch around the corner with the outside of his right, and then looking where Gallagher and Stuver is, he understands that centrally is taken, so he wants to go to the far post, but his momentum is taking him the opposite direction. This would be the best vantage point. Watch how he goes to the outside of his right. He 1000% means to do that, and that is so good in such a tight space. Inventive and ingenious.
Challenge in the middle with Foldry going down. He'll pick himself up. And St. Louis coming forward again. Austin has not been able to get much going in the attack, but now it's Betcher again to put it away. Simon Betcher! Three goals for St. Louis, who will spoil the party tonight in Austin.
Less conviction that he is here, and the super sub does it again like he's done time and time again in Major League Soccer.
Just lifting it up and over Brad Stuver. St. Louis has been knocking on the door, looking to put this game away, and finally, Simon Betcher, well, he said, good night, Austin.
Can Cabral stand up once again? This time it's Leuven! No stopping that one. And it's game on and decision day here in St. Louis.
Big boy penalty. What a strike. You kids at home, pay attention. Head down, across the body. All the momentum, and the kiss of death in the upper corner. That's how you hit one from the spot. And Quinton to lock down the back line. More drama, Nate. In the Western Conference, another goal.
Oh boy. Here comes a long throw from St. Louis. Flick towards goal to the back post and into the net. things just got real interesting in the West. It's 2-2 here in St. Louis.
It's back across. Quentin marked one-on-one just inside the 6. What a flick that is by João Klauss. In front of Justin Glad. Just manhandles him. Not to be denied. Even with the pressure on the back stick. It would have been a foul on an alley. It doesn't matter. One of the staples